Gentlemen, let me ask you a question that may unsettle you. How is it that men who can conquer industries, build empires, and command respect from millions still end up destroyed by the wrong woman? How does that happen? The most dangerous wounds that are inflicted on men are not always from wars, from bullets, or from rivals. They are often come from the women that they choose to love. A man can actually build empires, he can earn millions, and he can command respect from the world. And yet, all of it can crumble in the chaos of a single toxic relationship. There have been several cases, including this week, when a man was stabbed to death by his girlfriend. We saw the saga of a former rally driver unfold before our eyes when he was also stabbed to death by his girlfriend. I think the case is still in court. And we've had several cases like that of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, where Jada slept with a young man in Will Smith's house and then came to tell the world about it. And Will Smith ended up assaulting Chris Rock just to appease Jada, and it almost destroyed his career. We're going to look at the case of Johnny Depp, the tragic saga of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, just as a case study. So, Depp, one of Hollywood's most celebrated actors, he met Amber Heard in 2009 in the set of the movie called The Ram Diary. At the time, Heard was a young, brilliant, and radiant lady full of allure. By 2015, they were married, and what followed was one of the most public, destructive relationships in modern celebrity history. So, Heard accused Depp of abuse. She staged injuries and secretly recorded their private arguments. In one of those arguments, she actually recorded herself admitting to hitting him and mocking him for speaking out. Tell the world, Johnny, that you are a victim of domestic violence and see who believes you, she mocked him. Then came the shocking incident where Heard defiled their marital bed by flinging feces, her own feces, onto it. In fact, many people nowadays call her Amber Turd because she threw her turd onto their bed. So this grotesque act was not just about disgust. It was psychological warfare, a deliberate humiliation. And for years, Depp's career and reputation were shredded. Contracts were cancelled, films halted, and his name was dragged through the mud. By the time that the truth emerged in court, and the truth was that Heard was the abuser, Depp had already paid a price in dignity, wealth, and years of his life. Gentlemen, the question is, why didn't he walk away sooner? And more importantly, why do so many men, famous or otherwise, repeat the same mistake? So we want to look at why do men date or marry damaged women? Okay? The first reason is what we call the savior complex, what Rollo Tomasi calls the savior schema. So men are conditioned to rescue. It is in our firmware. And psychologists call this the rescue fantasy. That is written by Kapman in the drama Triangle. Depp believed that his love, his patience, and resources could soothe has had chaos. Okay? Many men do the same. They confuse pathology with potential, imagining themselves as saviors rather than recognizing danger and getting themselves out of it. So, this savior fantasy or rescue fantasy makes men stay in damaging relationships with damaged women and at a costly price to them. The second reason that men date these damaged women is because of trauma bonding. So abuse followed by reconciliation normally creates powerful psychological ties. This cycle is what we know as trauma bonding, and it's well explained by Kant in the book called The Betrayal Bond. So trauma bond kept Depp emotionally tethered, even as his world unraveled. Many men mistake volatility for intimacy, never realizing that chaos has become their drug. Abusers don't act cruel all the time. They alternate between moments of affection, apologies, and tenderness, and episodes of anger, manipulation, and or violence. So this unpredictability, sometimes it's called intermittent reinforcement. Okay, and this is also, I think, an aspect of operant conditioning. It is the same mechanism that makes slot machines addictive. Okay, and it's the same thing that's how gambling also works. You win a little, you lose. You win, you lose. So the brain becomes hooked to the possibility of love and kindness, even after repeated cruelty. And part of it is also cognitive dissonance. So victims struggle to reconcile two contradictory realities. So this person hurts me versus this person loves me. You have both at the same time. That cognitive dissonance, many people struggle to resolve it. The third reason why men date damaged women is because of absent or weak fathers. According to attachment theory, which has been articulated by Hazan and Sheva in Romantic Love Conceptualized as Attachment Process, it teaches us that fatherlessness warps a man's sense of normalcy. So Depp grew up with an abusive mother and a passive father, and that pattern resurfaced in adulthood. Men without strong male role models often fail to set boundaries because they never saw boundaries enforced. And this also affected Will Smith. The fourth reason is the illusion of being special. Naive men normally think that they are different. They think they are better than other men. They think they can tame what other men could not. So Depp saw the warning signs, but he believed that his love and his fame made him immune. Rollo tells us in Rational Male that the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. And this is why we tell you you need to look at a woman's past if you want to know how the future with her is going to be. So if other men fled, gentlemen, it is arrogance to think that you are going to be the exception. The fifth thing is ignoring red flags. When a woman's past is littered with chaos, broken relationships, accusations, and volatility, these are not accidents, they are indicators. Yet many men are taught to not judge. They dismiss these signs, and this is cognitive dissonance also. Okay? This is a refusal to accept what is obvious because it conflicts with what one wishes to believe. Sometimes you are so wishful that you ignore what is standing right in front of you. The sixth reason is scarcity and lust, what we call being dick driven or pussy whipped. So, scarcity mindset makes men tolerate what they should not. Depp, who was in his 40s, may have subconsciously feared losing relevance to younger rivals. And so many men overlook danger in exchange for beauty or sex. But lust is a terrible lens. It blinds the eyes and deafens the ears. So you have to watch out for lust and scarcity. We talked about building your sense of abundance and your options. Gentlemen, if you're enjoying this video, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share it. When you subscribe, you'll always be notified when I drop new content. Also, when you like and share, you help this channel to grow, and more importantly, you help other men to discover the tools that they need to level up. So remember, when one man rises, we all rise. Now let's get back to the video. The seventh thing is blue pill conditioning. Blue pill culture conditions men to see women as fragile angels, always victims, never the aggressors. Depp was guilty of this. He confused Amber's beauty with virtue, forgetting that appearance is not character. And many men repeat this mistake, believing that Cinderella exists outside of fairy tales. The eighth reason is a cult of love. We are told that love conquers all, but love without discernment destroys. Many men normally think that if you find a damaged woman, that if you love her enough, the damage will go away. So Depp thought that love could cure Hard's chaos. Instead, it magnified it. And loving dysfunctional or loving dysfunction does not redeem it. It consumes you, gentlemen. Status and vanity is a ninth reason. Sometimes men overlook dysfunction because they want the trophy. Okay? The beauty, the glamour, or a woman's disability becomes a status symbol. And sometimes that's what is alluring to you. But, gentlemen, when you chase validation through her looks, you inherit her demons along with her face. The 10th reason why men date damaged women is fear of loneliness. And for some men, solitude feels worse than distraction. So they fear empty nights more than toxic ones. This is anxious attachment, choosing chaos over quiet peace because quiet feels unbearable. So you need to work on your attachment styles if you have anxious attachment. The 11th reason is addiction to drama. Peace can feel boring to men who are addicted to adrenaline. Stability feels to them like stagnation. And these men confuse turbulence for passion, and they end up bound to women who provide endless turbulence. Friedrich Nietzsche said in Beyond Good and Evil that man is most easily ensnared by what is intoxicating. So those are some of the reasons why men date and marry damaged women. You need to watch yourself, be very self-aware, and also be very situational aware. We've talked about red flags. We've talked about building abundance. We've talked about drawing and enforcing boundaries. So Johnny Depp's story is not just Hollywood. It's not just a Hollywood scandal. It is a parable for all men everywhere. Damaged women destroy not because they are inherently powerful, but because men surrender their power. They overlook the red flags. They confuse lust with love, chaos with intimacy, and beauty with virtue. So, gentlemen, the law is simple. Damaged women damage men. The cost is always higher than you think. As I already told you, many men have lost their lives. When we become violent, men have been poisoned, okay? And they have been assaulted and they have died. So let me leave you with this. Why do you think that men ignore obvious red flags even when the danger is clear? Have you ever excused dysfunction in the name of love? And what did it cost you? Gentlemen, do you believe peace in solitude is better than passion in chaos? So comment below, gentlemen, because your answer may one day save a life. Your answer may one day save your life. I'll see you on the next one. Gentlemen, mark your calendars. On Saturday, 4th of October, 2025, we're going to meet at Ololtepe's picnic site in Kiserian. So we're going to be meeting from 4 p.m. Till late, and it's going to be more than just nyama choma. This is going to be about brotherhood, it's about networking, and also having deep conversations with fellow unplugged professionals. So if you've been looking for a space where unplugged men gather together to exchange wisdom, to sharpen each other for the journey ahead, then this is it. So I'm inviting you formally. Come hungry, come ready to network, and come ready to level up. So register on as per the instructions on the flyer on this particular video. And your registration matters because it secures your seat in this particular gathering and it keeps the circle strong. So see you on the Nyama Fest on 4th of October 2025.